Okay, hi everybody, my name is Sarah Devlin and we are getting ready to do a vlog today. I'm not sure if you can probably hear it, but it's raining right now and I am in a gas station. I'm not in the way or anything. I pulled off to the side and I'm just getting ready to set up my GPS and everything. I've got everything I need in this bag, so I suppose you're wondering where we're going. I'm going to talk while I set this up. We are going to a book signing for the authors Maggie Stiefvater and N.K. Jemisin and the Alpha Students. It is in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, which is a couple hours from where I'm from, or where I live, I suppose. Okay. It's been a while since I've used this. I usually use my phone, but I just didn't want to use my phone this time. Okay, we got it. And it's going to be in a Barnes & Noble. I'm leaving not very early, but early, I would say. Where is the plug on this? Here it is. I am leaving early simply because I want to get there with plenty of time. I want to get there with plenty of time if I get lost, okay, it's turning on good. If I, need to get in line and wait, I'm not sure how that'll be. I've only ever been to one other book signing ever. So, alright, we'll set that up in a minute. I had to wait until we got to the gas station because there's no cell service where I live, and the reception for my GPS as well is not that great. But I guess before we get started, like I said, I have my purse. It has everything I need. Snacks, wallet, sunglasses, although it's raining so hard, I don't think we will need them, and knitting. I mean, this is just a ball of yarn at this point that I hand spun, but it'll be knitting because I'm sure I will be in the Barnes & Noble for a bit before anything starts. So yeah, if you're interested, I am wearing a My Log Does Not See Gender shirt. Now that I'm all scrunched up here, it is a reference to Twin Peaks from Log Lady. I love this shirt. I got it from Be Human, which is like an online store. They just sell tons and tons of shirts. They have a huge Pride selection. I got this during their Memorial Day sale, I think it was. Nail polish, nothing special. Shiny. I redid it today. My nails aren't that great. I'm not that good at painting them. I'm wearing a long gauzy black maxi skirt that I thrifted several months ago. This is the first time wearing it. It's pretty comfy. I really like it. I'm wearing a pair of shoes that I thrifted and my lucky socks because I hurt my feet the other day, one of them, and it's still kind of sore and I wanted something really soft to cushion it, and I'll insert a little bit of footage right here. Okay, so you've seen what my socks look like. I have the book I'm gonna, I think, ask her to sign, Maggie Stiefvater, just because I tend to donate books when I'm done reading them. And this is her, if you've seen the video, I'll link it up here, of her tarot deck, and I'll be less likely to get rid of this guidebook than one of her novels. Even if I love books, I tend to donate them just so other people can read them, and since I'm in the position where I can buy books, not that I'd buy the same book over and over again, but I figure I might as well share the love, spread it out. And then I have my Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett audiobook, Good Omens. So yeah, I'm going to set up GPS and the audiobook and we're gonna hit the road. Bye! Or talk to you in a bit. Barnes & Noble over there. We are here in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. It was a bit of a longer drive than I expected, mainly because there was a ton of traffic and some rain. You might have seen a little bit of the construction and stuff on the way here. I don't know how much of the footage I ended up putting in. The parking lot looks really pretty full, so I think I'll go inside and see what's what. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the audiobook. I said earlier it was by Neil Gaiman. It's also by Terry Pratchett. They co-wrote the book, and it's really good so far, and I'm totally enjoying it. Alright, bye!
Everything I wanted out of a literary reading. We're going to need to find some more words before you do that.
All right. Well, I'll try to use my...
of or relating to fiction.
I'll try to use my sonorous voice, because usually I use my soporific voice.
This is a question for Maggie Stiefvater. I've had a few people and me who think that in the books, the Raven Boys books, that Henry is sort of coded as asexual. Is that something that you can make a statement about?
She just asked if I could make a statement.
Like, some people don't like to say
Henry
that.
Chang's sexuality. I feel like only Henry Chang could make a statement.
No. Some people don't like to say that, and they want to leave it up to the reader.
Also, I don't like to confirm things out of canon, so I'm just gonna pretend like there's butterflies floating over my head.
Okay.
What about Noah's sexuality?
What about Noah's sexuality? Those of you who have not read The Raven Cycle, cover your ears right now. Noah's dead! I will say, the thing that is most impressive about working with David that I take for granted is that I've never given him a novel with an end on it. I normally just give him a manuscript, he goes and gives me a deadline, and then what I do is I write it up right until the end of the novel. The climax is missing, like in the Scorpio races. There were no races.
I tend to be a pretty polished first drafter, mostly because what? Oh, okay.
Nothing, I was just dripping with envy
no.
and wonder and awe. It's all combined together.
Oh,
Toxic sludge. A polished first draft.
Because I have a bunch of friends that will give me all kinds of hell if I don't. But when I see like most cover art on most books that's got a figure that's just not congruent with whatever is in my head. In fact, when I first started getting published, I asked my publisher not to use figures in my cover art, and I hadn't realized that was kind of stepping into an area of debate about representation of characters of color on book covers and things like that. And so I get a lot of people who are like, oh, well, you know, they won't put a picture of N.K. Jemison's characters on her book because those characters are brown, sometimes. And you know, and I'm like, no, it's because I am weird. I don't like looking at characters of like the renderings of my character.
Yeah. Do you guys have any advice for young writers for the painstaking process of actually getting a first draft done?
I'm going to think of a 50-point answer.
I'm just gonna say, don't be too hard on yourself if you aren't able to write every day. I have heard the message endlessly throughout my writing career of write every day, and that's true. If you're trying to get a novel done, you do have to write every day. In order, sorry, let me not contradict myself. You do have to write a little frequently in order to get that thing done. But if you have a bad day, you're not going to write well. if you are exhausted by the time you get home from work of your 2 jobs or whatever, you're not going to write well. So give yourself, treat yourself as human. Respect your own energy levels, and understand that writing takes energy to do. So if you are exhausting yourself, maybe it'll work better for you to get up the next day and write in the morning.
There was a hand down there.
All the way down here. What is your experience and advice for writing diverse characters?
Did everyone hear that in the back? Okay, the question was, what is our experience and advice for writing diverse characters? I have written several 1,000-word blog posts about this, so a quick, simple answer is not a thing I can provide you. I will say, first and foremost, there are entire books on this, such as Writing the Other by Nisi Shaw and Cynthia Ward, which is a really short, slim, relatively easy to find book. You may find it in here, you may not, it's from a small press. But I would highly recommend that you grab a copy of Writing the Other, and there's also a whole video series of Writing the Other, by the way, affiliated with the book, where they have writers from specific own voices backgrounds come and talk to you about common tropes and common things not to do when you're trying to write characters from a particular background or a particular ethnicity or whatever. So try and do that as really basic research. But beyond that, there's so much that I could say that there's no simple. I could do an entire course on that, college length, a year long. So
check out your blog.
Sure. Sure, that's a good start.
And as a white lady, what I've learned is the best answer to that question is to pass the microphone to someone who actually should have a voice in it. And also, you're not going to do it right, so it's really important to listen.
You said you're working on I'm not asking questions about the script or anything, but you're working on it with DC Comics. I just wondered, the approach, how's the approach different to writing a novel series compared to writing something for DC? Because it seems like it would be a really different process.
It is. The question was about me mentioning that I was doing a series of scripts for a line of comics, or it's. What can I tell you? I'm sorry. It's hard. It is a drastically different art form. I had to teach myself how to do it. Fortunately, I had some friends in academia who taught classes on, comic book writing, narrative, the structure of sequential art, yada yada yada. So they gave me an entire stack of how to do this books. And the one that I found most useful was something called the 2000 AD script book. 2000 AD was apparently a slightly obscure artsy series of comics, but the script book contains a page of script, and then alongside it the page as rendered in the final form with the frames and everything. I just literally learned how to write scripts from that. So it's hard. I don't think I like it, but I've done 12 issues now, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, so it's not.
I don't think that really helps, but oh well. I'm going to try and do this quickly so I don't drain my car's battery, but had a lot of fun inside. There were a ton of people there. We ran out of seating. I did actually snag a seat inside, but I was getting really claustrophobic. So I ended up moving to the edge, which I actually was able to see better. There was some pretty tall people in front of me. I mean, I'm pretty tall, I'm 5'7", but I couldn't really see. But I moved to a less crowded section. I had to stand the whole time. That was fine. I could have sat on the floor or kept my seat, but it just worked better. It was less crowded. It was less agonizing. Not agonizing, it wasn't agonizing. It was just claustrophobic. Anxiety inducing, that's the word. So I've got my coffee and I've got my water and I'm ready for the long drive home. But before we go, I thought I'd show you the books that I got signed. I am going to admit I haven't read any of N.K. Jemison's works yet. They're on my list. I just haven't got to it because there's too many books, not enough time. And I got the Obelisk Gate signed. It's actually book 2 in this series. But they didn't have book 1. I guess I talked to somebody else who bought book 1. I guess it sold out really quickly. They didn't have enough copies of it. So I got book 2. I'll just have to order book 1 or borrow it or find it somewhere. Yeah. They had a lot of really good advice and a lot of really good questions people had. It was what was it called? I forget. It's a student ages 12 through 19 or 14 through 19, I forget. Workshop here outside of Pittsburgh every year, I guess. And a lot of them were there, but then there was a lot of other people. So then with Maggie Stiefvater, or Stiefvater, I'm not sure. This was the book I brought. I know I told you that so it says for Sarah, Maggie. Just, that was what I wanted signed. I guess I probably should have shown you the, in here, the, autograph in there. We had a nice little talk, N.K. Jemisin and I, about, Twin Peaks inspired shirt. She wanted to know what it was from, and it was a great little conversation. And then I also had with Maggie, she signed this book. I wasn't intending on asking her to sign it. Not that it's a bad thing. I just thought, we're in line. There's a lot of people. I should probably just, stick to one book per author, but she took it and signed it, and I actually got a picture with her too. I forgot to get one with N.K. Jemisin. She was the first author I talked to out of the two, and I was just flustered and nervous and didn't think of it. And then as I was leaving, I was like, wait a minute. And I wasn't going to cut in line, and I didn't really want to get back in line, so it was a shame, but hopefully I'll get to meet her another time. Yeah. And she wanted to know if I'd been using the tarot cards, and I am. And I'm really glad she signed this because this is one of my favorite decks. So yeah, I am ready to drive home. Yeah, hopefully I'll get home before midnight. Bye guys.